Responding to the success of the Federation dual citizenship program, Starfleet expands the Starfleet Academy admission guidelines to accept applicants from races allied with, but not formally part of the Federation. These cadets would be allowed to apply for dual citizenship and would otherwise be considered a full citizens of the Federation, and therefore would not need a command-level recommendation for acceptance. There are many dedicated, quality applicants out there who simply don't have access to a Starfleet captain. We're opening the doors, said Starfleet spokesperson Marie Doron. One change that Starfleet sees immediately is a rush of Ferengi applicants. Inspired by the example of Nog and social reforms on Ferenginar, hundreds of Ferengi applied to join Starfleet. On Stardate 76014.6, dignitaries from throughout the Federation gathered to celebrate the opening of the first links of the Federation Transwarp Network. Not every starship in Starfleet or otherwise is fully yet equipped with new warp engines capable of reaching over Warp 10 or equipped with experimental type of quantum slipstream drive. Planets that were weeks away at warp will be connected in ways they never could have been before. When the crew of the USS Voyager brought this technology back from the Delta Quadrant, they created a world where someday you can have breakfast on Deep Space Nine and be at Cestus 3 in time to catch an afternoon baseball game. We are also counting on many of our ships being outfitted with our latest generation of warp drives and quantum slipstream drives, said Federation President Anik Okeg. But the celebratory spirit of the early days of 2399 is quickly overshadowed by events in the Romulan and Klingon empires. On Stardate 76306.1, the IRW Althindor notifies Nova Roma that it is experiencing unexplained malfunctions in several systems, but that the problem should not impede the ship's progress. General Velal offers to send the ship to rendezvous with the Althindor. General Tebak is due back in Nova Roma in 32 hours for a meeting of the Romulan Senate. Tebak assures Velal that the engineers on the Althindor believe that the problems are being caused by a computer virus and that they will have a solution for the problem shortly. 2 hours later, the Althindor drops out of warp and transmits a final distress signal. The IRW Kador is the closest vessel and it races to the Althindor's location. The Kador reports detecting a quantum singularity containment failure, but before her crew can act, the Althindor explodes, killing General Tebak and all hands on. Praetor Taris orders that until a new commander for the fleet is selected, that all fleets must report to her directly. Velal goes to Tebak's allies in the Senate to block Taris, and the Senate quickly passes a bill that calls for all Senate approval for all high-level military appointments. The uncertainty in the chain of command once again throws the Romulan fleet into chaos, and the several commanders announce that they will no longer report to any authority but their own. Starfleet steps up orders of patrols in response, hoping to block any rogue ship before it can attack a Federation target. President Okeg announces plans to travel to Kronos to meet with Chancellor Jimpak and try to find a peaceful solution to the Klingons' conflict with the Gorn. However, before he can depart Paris, the IKS Kang returns to Kronos. Captain Jared meets in a closed session with Jimpak and the High Council for more than 7 hours. Reports are that Jared reveals the details of his investigation into the undead presence in the Gorn hegemony to the Council, and that infiltration goes much deeper than previously believed. A day later, Jimpak, with the full backing of the High Council, orders an invasion of the Gorn hegemony. "No more waiting! No more talking! We are Klingon, and we will protect the Alpha Quadrant from these Kameku, these replacers of honor with dishonor! We attack!" said Chancellor Jimpak. A combined Klingon and Orion fleet storms across the border into the Gorn hegemony within weeks. The ships clash with Gorn and Nausicaan forces in the multiple systems, and the simmering conflicts flare into open warfare. Jimpak sends a message to President Okeg, asking for Federation assistance as spelled out in the Khitomer Accords. However, the Federation Council instead condemns the invasion and demands that the Klingons withdraw from Gorn space and return to the negotiation table. This is not the first time that the Klingons have acted rashly. For all we know, they are chasing shadows. What reason would there is Undine have for being here now? said Counselor Astoni Ishard of Greaser. The Klingon response is swift. In a tersely worded message, Jimpak pulls the Klingon Empire out of the Khitomer Accords and recalls all Klingon ambassadors back to Kronos. Chancellor Jimpak's decision is regrettable. However, it is his to make. We will continue to all we can to repair our relationship with our longtime friends in the Klingon Empire, Okek says. Federation citizens are unceremoniously ejected from the Empire, and it is only because of his ties to Kronos that Ambassador Worf is allowed to stay in the capital city. Jimpak needs the ships and the crew loyal to the House of Martok fighting the Gorn. If he had kicked Worf out, Drex would have pulled his support. Still, don't think that the fight between Drex and Jimpak is over. The needs of the Empire may be foremost today. Tomorrow is a different story, a Federation government insider told the Teller News Service.